All right, guys, I have our recording going, so I'm going to get started. Thank you all for joining the call. I know it was a very busy holiday weekend. I know for me, and I'm sure a bunch of other people, did a lot of shopping and a lot of eating and not a lot of working out. So I wanted to do this call because I've noticed there's a lot of coaches and customers going into hibernation. And it's totally normal for this time of year, but I think it does need to be addressed because it's very hard to go from 0 to 100. And that's what will happen for the lucky ones who put the effort in this time of year, starting January 1st. But if you don't put the effort in now, if you completely fall off yourself, you really will not see a big jump in your business because people won't even think of you when they do go to buy workout programs because you haven't been doing them yourself and you haven't been focusing on your business and getting it ready for what's to come in the new year. So I wanted to go ahead and address some of those issues and give you kind of a little plan of action of what you can do right now to get yourself ready. So maybe that you go from maybe 45 to 100 instead of 0 to 100. So let's go ahead and get started and welcome some of our new team members and some coaches that did amazing last week. We have new coach Aubrey Ross, Allison D'Ambrosio, Megan Kenny, Marlo Slayball, and Shalissa Bailey. Welcome to the team, guys. I'm not sure if any of you are on the call, but hopefully you're listening to the recording. We do these every single Monday, and it's something new every single week, so make sure you make it a staple on your Monday nights. In top sales, we have Miss Katie Hefner, who crushed it last week with 890 PV. Yeah, big ballin'. She actually wrote me the week before and said that her sales were slacking, so it looks like she had a rebound. So never judge your sales from last week for your sales this week. You just never know what's going to happen because she came back with a, like she says, pow pow. Our top 5, we have Katie Hefner, Shay Stanford, Abby Fix, Jennifer Greenberg, and Jennifer Bronson. Congratulations, guys. All right. I didn't add in a bunch of stuff to talk about business or anything. I wanted to go right into the nitty gritty of what we need to cover this week to get us refocused on our business. And I will be completely honest with you guys on this call. And the fact is, whether you're a new coach, whether you're an Emerald coach, whether you're a Ruby coach, a Diamond coach, a Star Diamond coach, or even me, everybody is feeling the effects of the holidays in their business and in themselves. You know, your daily routine is messed up. You're not you're not necessarily the most motivated unless it's for shopping or eating or spending time with your family. But you have to kind of pull yourself out of that as a coach because you're your brand. And if you're sleeping on the job, then come the beginning of the year, like I said at the beginning of the call, people won't be picking up the call you, they'll be calling somebody else who actually did discipline themselves during the holidays, and they think of them before they think of you as somebody who to go to for help. It really is all about consistency in this business. And yes, you're not going to have a consistent, especially when you're new, you're not going to have consistent sales, you're not going to have consistent coaches. But the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And whether you are a brand new coach and have 0 coaches underneath you, or you're me and have 600 plus coaches underneath you, we're all leaders. You are your brand. You have your own business when you sign up to be a coach, when you paid the $39.99, or maybe you even got in for free because you're military. You bought into a business. This is something that, you know, some of us are looking to do as our lifetime job. Others are looking at it as a part-time thing. Others got into it because it was free. But you have a really big opportunity in front of you to do something to really benefit whatever your priorities are in your life. And we're going to go over that in just a little bit. for me, I've realized I can't talk people out of their hibernation. So I can't go to my customers. I mean, I can try, and of course I still will, but I can't do anything about them. So if they don't want to purchase something right now, or if they're just not motivated to buy, or they're not motivated to start a challenge right now and they just want to wait to the beginning of the year, there's nothing I can do or say that will make them want to change that. And honestly, it's really not worth my effort to chase after people. So I'm still going to consistently put it out there. I'm going to consistently try to start new challenge groups, plant seeds with people, talk to them about fitness, get them excited. And the way I'm going to do that is by working on myself harder than ever, because if I'm working on myself and I'm constantly telling people about it, one, it's going to start a little seed in their head, like, shoot, I should be doing that too. And when that happens, am I cutting out? Okay, good. When you plant that seed, and some people it'll grow faster than others, and in others it'll take until January, second week of January, and it'll finally click and they're like, crap, I wish I would have started back in the day, because now it's everybody's starting and it's really busy at gyms and I want to go. Or they're going to see you completely in shape and be like, darn, I wish I could look like that now. I don't want to put any effort. But the one thing that you can control right now in this moment is yourself. And I know it is hard to do that. Like, you're going to be dealing with the same things that your customer is going to be dealing with, all the obstacles that get in the way, all the temptations, all the things that you'd rather be doing than disciplining your eating, or in the Coach Back Online office watching the coach training, or listening to me on this call. There's a lot of things that we could all be doing. There's Christmas movies on every single night, so I'm sure we could all be doing that right now. But the fact of the matter is if you do want to have a business in 2012, if you really do want this to be something that benefits your life, then you do have to focus on you right now. And you do have to, show discipline that maybe is not so easy. What I'm going to be doing, and I talked to my girls this week, Katie and Abby and Farah. We have a little group, and we all talked very openly and candidly in there about what's going on with us. I'm open, and I tell them if I'm struggling, and they likewise tell me when they're struggling. And I heard from a couple other my top coaches this week that they feel the strain of the holidays as well. And so we all got together and we started talking about it. And we said, what are the things that we're doing differently now that we were doing before that we're not doing anymore? And we're not doing a lot of things. And we can fool ourselves into thinking we're still doing the business because, yeah, I'm on Facebook, and yeah, I check my back office, and yeah, I read a couple customers a day, and, I take up my time. My time is filled with the business. It's true. I'm still working the business every single day. And I hadn't figured out until just a couple days ago what I was doing differently, because I could feel it. I knew it was different. And the fact of the matter is I stopped doing the basics. I wasn't working out consistently. I wasn't reading personal development, because I know it all already. I mean, I've read a couple books and I'm good. I'm doing pretty well in the business. No, it's not right, though. I have to constantly be bettering myself because I'm not the best me I can be. And even though I'm in a better place than I was last year at this time, that's fantastic. But where I want to go, I have a lot of gaps to get to that goal. And those things have to be filled with knowledge that I don't yet have, or discipline that I don't yet have, things I need to work on. You have to acknowledge some of the spots that you're weak in and work on those areas. And so I wanted to give you guys a 5-step reboot to your business that you can apply over there's 32 days left in the year. If you apply these things, this is my plan of action, basically what I'm giving you, what I'm going to do over the next 32 days to reboot my business so that I am ready in time for 2012, because I expect to be the top coach next year. And if I want to do that, then I can't be at 0. I can't even be at 15. I need to honestly be at 90, 95 before the beginning of the year if I want to get to where I want to go. So you really need to decide where you want to go so you can figure out what pace you do need to be at. If you've been in the slump, then guess what? You're the only one that can pull yourself out of it. Your upline coach, yes, they're there to support you. But just like your customers, I can't go wake up my customers every single day and drag them out of bed. I can try to fill them up with words of motivation, and I can give them all the things that I think work for me. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you and what you want for your life. And so that's what these 5 steps are going to be concentrating on. What do you want for your life? What are your goals? What are your priorities? And figuring those things out. Because I think a lot of times we avoid them. We know we want to do that. We want to we want to read books, but when it comes the day of, you're like, well, I'll start tomorrow, or you want to do a workout program, but you're tired tonight. So it's like, it's already 9:45 over on Eastern time, and it's getting late. By the time this call's over with, it'd be 10:30, and 10:30 to work out is just really exhausting. So I'll just start tomorrow. I know it's Monday, and I said I would start Monday, but I'm gonna start Tuesday. So anyway, it's all about figuring out what you want and what's the priority in your life, and then pushing yourself to be disciplined. And discipline, it's not my strongest suit, but you have to constantly work on it. So here's number 1, and this one's probably an obvious. Number 1, for the next 30 days, you have to recommit to a program and do it every single day without fail for the last 30 days of the year. That means it's 32 days left. You have 2 days that you can skip out on. 30 days, one program that you're going to use every single day. You're going to follow it to a T. Something that you're going to post about on your Facebook every single day, or blog about, whatever you like to do, to let people know that this is what you're passionate about, this is what you're dedicated to, and constantly, maybe once or twice a week, telling them, when you're ready, I want to start these challenge groups. I'll start one, in the next few weeks, and I'm also going to start a few in the beginning of the year. So if it's something you want to do in the beginning of the year, let me know, because there's going to be a waiting list. It's going to be something that's going to be really popular at the beginning of the year, and I'm only going to have 70 spaces. I need to know who's interested now. You always want to give people a feeling of that they need to act fast, that there's exclusivity to your challenge groups, that there's only so many spaces. I do limit mine to 5. So once I reach 5, then I put somebody else on a waiting list, and they have to be in the next challenge group. And it might be only a week away, but at least it lets them know there is a time limit to getting on this challenge group. So if you wait and you procrastinate, then you're going to be pushed back, and you're not even going to start for another 2 weeks. Yes, exactly, Linda. Sense of urgency. That's what I was looking for. So you have to create that sense of urgency so that they feel like, oh, we got to buy now. Why do you think people do Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday sales? It creates a sense of urgency. It's like, oh crap, I bought things on Friday. There's definitely things I did not need that I bought on Friday, because I thought, oh man, if I don't buy it now, then I'm gonna lose out on the 40% off. And what if I end up really wanting it? It's the same thing with challenge groups. You have to constantly make people feel that this is something special, this is something exclusive, this is something that they're not going to get anywhere else. You want to break down every single part of a challenge group, all the great things that they get, that they get. Not only the challenge group saves them money because they're getting free shipping, they're getting a discount on the products, but they're also getting you, and they're getting these accountability partners. They're getting set up with people that are like-minded. They don't have to do the work of finding a success partner. You'll match them up with one, and you'll give them daily emails and accountability and motivation and recipes, and break down all the things that you're going to give them and share it with them, because it gives it value. So you want to create a sense of urgency, and you want to create value. But first, you have to convince yourself that it's worth it for you to discipline yourself enough. So I'm saying, for the next 30 days, do that to yourself. Test yourself. See if you can do it. Because if you can't do it, then don't expect to motivate anybody else to do it. And I've seen that in myself firsthand. Whenever I'm doing a challenge group and I'm not actually consistently working out, I notice the effect in the challenge group. There's something about being authentic. There's something about actually doing it that people can tell. I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but they can tell when you're actually working out with them or when you're not. And you don't necessarily have to be doing the same program. I have 7 challenge groups going right now, and I'm definitely not doing all 7, but I committed to Brazil Butt Lift. And so that's the one that I'm doing. And I can tell you honestly that group is doing the best, because I know that they can feel it. I know that they can feel my sense of passion for it, my sense of that I'm actually going out and pressing play with them. And my posts are different than they are in the other groups. And the other group, it's almost like they're planned. Or in this group, it's like I'm posting when I'm done, and I obviously have like sweat, and I can post pictures of me and stuff like that. So you have to get involved with these programs while you're doing them. So test yourself over the next 30 days. Even if you can get no one to commit with you, even if you can only find one person, do an accountability partner thing with them. You don't have to do a challenge group of 5, but really make it about you recommitting to yourself. Because I know a lot of you, and we all can, lie all we want, but we know we're not all committed the way we should be. And I think it's really, really important if we want to do something big in 2012 that we do commit the way that we're supposed to, which is to be a product of the product. So that would be number 1. Number 2, personal development. So I like this little graph that I found that how am I doing? And it goes down, what can I improve at? And then it goes down, read and research. Put that research into action, assess your progress, and then go back to how am I doing, and go back through the process over and over and over and over again. I got an email from one of my coaches that their coach sent, and it was about how she should approach the business, and she was really like overwhelmed because there's just so many things that she's scrambling with, like she's trying to learn the business, but she has some bad habits, and she has a few bad habits, and it's overwhelming for her because she's really disorganized. Well, she needs to take whatever is her worst habit. She wanted advice. So my advice would be that whatever is your worst habit, whatever thing that you do is getting in the most in your way, you need to face that head on. That needs to be your personal development. That needs to be the thing that you're like completely dedicated to. So on the next page, I have a couple of my suggestions. If you have a horrible time with time management and procrastination, your number 1 book should be Eat That Frog, because there's 21 different things that you can do to help with your procrastination and address that head on. If your biggest problem is that you have no experience with business, or no knowledge about money and how to deal with it, then you need to go for Think and Grow Rich or The Slight Edge. If you have a hole in your heart from a faith standpoint, and you kind of feel like you don't know who you are anymore, and you kind of want to find yourself again, then The Purpose Driven Life is a book that I read that was life-changing. And so I would go more towards that. If it's more, dealing with your own issues and finding confidence in yourself, and you need to find yourself again, through kind of awakening the giant within, not to give the book away, but that would be the book that I would recommend, because that book really addresses growing into your potential. So finding the right kind of area to grow yourself in the most needs to be the book that you focus on first. You don't have to change everything all at once. In fact, it's like impossible to do. I was very, very lost when I started this business. I had no clue where to start with my life. I felt like a complete wreck last year. And I had to start just baby steps. My first book that I read was Eat That Frog, because I really suffer from disorganization and time management, and I had to address those things. And so that was the first book that was recommended to me, and I started reading it and applying some of the things. And then I'm going to explain the last thing that I did that was really life-changing. But taking on those things and realizing and writing down, what are your issues? What do you struggle with? And going down and crossing them off as you go through each of those books. My biggest goal for all of you guys probably would be for over the next 30 days to commit to a book and read the entire book front to back in 30 days. It'll probably take you about 15 pages a day, which might take between 20 and 30 minutes a day. It's a discipline that, we all have 20, 30 minutes, but it's very difficult for people, it seems like, myself included, because I talk myself out of it all the time. I procrastinate it, funny enough. And it's got to be a discipline that you do. Even getting it over right away in the morning, for me, is the best way for me to do it. Otherwise, I push it off. But figuring out which thing you need to do and figuring out when best to do it to get it over with, I'm telling you, those are life-changing disciplines. Personal development, when I first started in this, that's all I did was personal development. And it got me to where I needed to be because I knew nothing about business. If you know nothing about network marketing, guess what? You probably need a network marketing book on your list because it's your business. You have to learn this. And everything that's in the back office, it's great. It's great info. But you need to learn the business side of it too. That might not be your biggest difficulty, so you need to focus on something else. But if it is, if that's the thing that you're most confused on, then go get a book on that. You can research all these or you can ask for suggestions, whatever your thing is, but you need to figure out, okay, write a list of the things that you're struggling with most. And then ask for opinions on what we can all, suggest for reading or for audiobooks or even quicker than reading. And you can just put headphones on and rock out to your workouts and do 2 things at once. It's amazing. So first 2 things, personal development, 30 days, every single day, and working out every single day for 30 days. Next thing. This is a big one for me. Create a vision board. Doesn't necessarily have to look like mine or be a typical vision board, but you need to bring clarity and focus to your goals and purpose because it helps you to stay on task and it's a constant reminder of what you're working towards because things can get tedious, in the business. You might not be achieving goals as fast as you want to or hitting marks the way you want to, but when you have a clear vision of where you're going, you can judge, is this the right thing that I'm doing right now, this activity? Is it really bringing me to where I want to go? My vision board, I'm telling you, it changed my business because I did one at the beginning of the year and I was really focused about it. And almost every single thing besides top coach, which I'll end up getting 2nd or 3rd, which is pretty darn good. That's the only thing that didn't come true. So if you can really take time, and I know it's can be like a little daunting of a task, but concentrate on all these. I have all these little notes on here like attitude, career, education, family, financial, physical. Those are all the different areas that you should kind of include in your vision board. It shouldn't just all be about the business because this is your life. It's your lifestyle. It's what's important to you. And putting things and being clear about what you want and when you want it. Putting a date on things is something that I never did until this year. But I started to put a date on things because then okay, I said I would do this by this date, so I need to focus on that right now. And that thing I said I'm going to do a year and a half from now, that's not necessarily the most important thing to concentrate on right now because my head gets really cloudy because there's a lot going on in it. So when I'm focused on one thing at a time, it's so much easier for me. So I look at my vision board all the time. I actually have it right behind my desk. So anytime I'm like off in La La Land, it's usually where my head ends up towards the vision board. And it refocuses me and reminds me, okay, that's what I'm working towards. That's my goal. And this is why it's my goal. Because I put a little note next to it, like, this is why I want it. So I think it's really, really important during these next 30 days when we're a little more slow, that you take some time to think about yourself and think about what you want for your family and where you want to take this. Because, Beachbody might not end up being that big of a priority in your life. You may want to do something else. And you might realize making the vision board that this is not it for you. But vice versa, you might realize, holy crap, I really want to be around my family and I really want to be able to travel anytime I want. And I really hate my boss and I really don't want to work for somebody anymore. And I've always wanted to own a business. And I love working with people and I love health and fitness. And you might realize that this is the thing you've been waiting for your entire life, like I did. This thing has taken me to places I never thought I would be able to go a year ago. And I'm looking at Scotty because he just posted amen. And I know in his life, he just started in April. He's making what he makes at his regular job as a coach already. And it's because he's been clear about his focus. He knows where he wants to go. And he constantly works on himself, both personal development and the workouts. He's got vision. And it's so important that we stay in that mode of knowing where we want to go with this. He knows what he wants to do. He wants to be at home with his family. And so he knows this is the vehicle that will get him there. And I do too. So I think, please do yourself a favor. I know a lot of people know what they don't want. Most people know what they don't want. They can make a list as long as a novel, all the things that they don't want. But a lot of people, if you ask them, what are your top 10 goals? They're like, they can probably list like 3 or 4. When you get to the 4th one, you're like, I don't know. What are my goals? What do I want to do? And why? Because people just don't know. They don't take the time to know. They forget because you get in like that system that life puts you through. Go to school, go to college, get a job, and then what? It's like the dreams die or something. So figure out what you want in the next 30 days. Here's an example of my dream board. It has a lot of different things, different aspects. You know, there's some things about the business, but there's also things that are important to me. And I also have another dream board. It's a little bit more wide range, has a lot more stuff on it. But I constantly update it. So anytime I achieve something, I take it off and put something different. The next thing, get in the habit of scheduling your time. Because like I talked about, I think earlier in the call, you can think that you're doing a lot of Beachbody work, but you're really not. You're kind of just going on the Bombshell Dynasty stuff, reading it, maybe posting a comment or a funny thing, and you go on your Facebook and you post like 1 or 2 things, and you go to your back office and you look how many Success Club points you have and check your downline and who's going inactive, and it's just like management mode. I'm only saying this because that's what I do. You know, because you get in the habit of not scheduling your time. Like, what exactly are you doing? Are you doing anything productive? And you have to be doing specific tasks. So here's an example of my calendar. I always put personal development first in the morning because that will be the things that I will avoid the most, I put first. So I've got an hour of personal development, an hour for my workout, and then personal activity. So this is like things that personally affect my business, my challenge groups, dealing with my own sales or my own, my website, posting blogs. Those are the activities that would go in that first area. I had noticed, it's Gmail, Joni. So gmail.com is what somebody had recommended to me, and actually I really do like it because it gives me reminders because I'm very forgetful, and so it pops up when I'm supposed to be done with something. So in this personal activity, I noticed that I spent a lot of time in management mode and leadership mode. So I spent all my time on organizational activity, which is managing all of you guys, doing leadership calls, planning these team calls. Anything that has to do with you all is organizational time. And I had to get out of only doing that. I avoid making videos, posting blogs, doing really anything personal. For some reason, posting videos is the worst. I am the worst person about posting videos. I know I need to post videos, but I just don't. So evaluate your business, evaluate the things that you avoid and put those first in your schedule. And I promise you'll see a shift in your business, because I definitely did. When I started doing personal activity first and foremost, I always get to organizational activity. I never let that fall out. So I started doing that and it worked really, really well. And then I also had to schedule in quality time with London and quality time with my family, because when you do get really involved in this business, it can start to consume your life. But I had to reevaluate and know that my priority was that I was able to spend quality time with my family. That's why I'm doing this business in the first place. And so I had to schedule that in and make sure that I didn't work from 4:30 until right around London went to bed. And then after London went to bed, and after I had some quality time with Billy, then I can start working again from like 9:30 to 11:30. And I have to have shut-off time too, because I'm really bad about staying up really late, even though I tend to break that sometimes. But knowing when you're going to do stuff is so important, because you will completely fill your time with a bunch of nonsense. Catching yourself off task is so important, becoming cognitive of how you're spending your time and if it's quality or not. Just started doing the Chalene Johnson 30-day challenge again. I'm waiting for my push book to get here. But one of the biggest turnarounds for me a couple days ago was realizing that I had not been following my priorities the order that they were intended to be in the beginning. So knowing what your top 3 priorities are, and these are the things that you refuse to fail at or sacrifice. So it could be your family, it can be, your faith, it can be your work, it could be your own personal health, it can be helping others, it can be whatever the thing is in your life that is your driving force. Most of us, if they hear priority, you'll know what your number 1 is, for sure. And that number 1 priority everything has to fall in line that you do with that number 1 priority. So like if your number 1 priority is to spend quality time with your family, then you're not going to want to take on a bunch of travel with Beachbody. You're not going to want to become a traveling coach that's going to go travel to a bunch of fit clubs and, be gone every other week. You're not going to want to do that because that's not, according to your priority, that's not going to align with your priority to spend quality time with your family. And so for me personally, faith is my number 1 priority, and I had to realign myself and realize my business can't always come first. I have to make sure that I stay happy, because if I'm not doing the things that I said I wanted to do that are my main priorities in life, beyond Beachbody, beyond this next 5 years, knowing where I want to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what do I want to be remembered by or for? That's your number 1 priority. And so I feel it's really important that you guys take some time and figure out what are your priorities. And then you can look at that vision board and say, okay, these visions for my life align with those priorities. The 5th thing I wanted you guys to do is the 30-day challenge with Chalene Johnson. It completely changed my business January of last year. It started January 1st of 2011, and I started at day 1, and I went every single day for 30 days, and that's when I won the Cabo trip last year. And it was because of this challenge. I know for a fact it was because of this challenge, because it addressed every single one of those issues that I had, and it's done in like 15 minutes a day. The longest thing I think took me 15-20 minutes. It is life-changing, and it will get you to do all the steps that I said above, because she just gosh, I don't know how she does it. It's crazy. She is a mastermind at really organizing your life and getting you to tackle things head on in a short amount of time. And it's what I started a couple days ago. Already I feel clear again, and I feel motivated again. And if you want to awaken yourself out of this hibernation, I'm sorry, but this is like the number 1 thing you need to do is start this. It's free. It's absolutely free. So you go to chalenejohnson.com/30-day challenge. You sign up, it sends you an email, and it gives you all the videos. I mean, I go through more than one a day just because I enjoy them so much. But I had Billy started today, and I'm really going to tell everybody in my challenge group to go and start it. It's something that will just be amazing for your life and your business. To get you ready for next year, I'm sorry, but there's nothing better to get you ready for next year than this. So definitely check it out. Post call to action. Please, I am begging you, for your own self, do these 5 things. And I know 2012 will be yours for the taking. I mean, we all start at a clean slate on January 1st, 2012. We all have the same chance at top 10. You have the chance to be on whatever trip is next year, which I'm sure they're only going to get better and better. You have the chance to be whatever you decide yourself to be in 2012. And that's why I love New Year, because since 5th grade, I've just been obsessed with clean slates. Anytime you have like an even playing field, it's exciting for me, because you have the chance to keep up with every single person around you. I don't care how long you've been in the business. I was only in the business 6 months last year,
when the new year started. And then I kept up with everybody. Not because I have some special superpowers or because there's something about me that you don't have. You all have it. And within yourself, is just, what are you willing to do for it? I look at the top 10 and I evaluate them and I think about who they are, and I've met all of them. And I've met many of you guys, and I'm sorry, but there's not anything special about them. They just work really, really hard. They're just willing to do things that other people are not willing to do. And that's all a leader or a top coach is. They're willing to make sacrifices. They know what they want. They're specific. They're not afraid of rejection. They don't, freak out if someone says no to them. I think I posted in the top coach tips about rejection. If somebody was already full and just ate lunch and you asked them to lunch and they said, no, I already ate, we wouldn't get offended by it. I mean, they already ate. Same thing with coaching. Somebody would make a great coach is not ready to become a coach. Doesn't mean no forever. It just means no for right now. And then you follow up with them again. You don't do it in a obtrusive way. You just do it in a way that, hey, look, I know you would be great at this. And I would be so excited to help you get ready, just get started to do this with your life. Whenever you are ready, just please let me know, because I know it would be life-changing for you. And I think as you grow your confidence, you become better and better at telling people from your heart and not telling them from your head. Because this really is a heart-driven business. I mean, if you don't have the heart for it, then it ain't gonna happen for you. You can't go by the book. I would never sell somebody the way that, a sales training person would tell you to sell them. I don't go by a script or, say something the same way every time. I say it different to every single person because I feel different for every single person. And I just talk to them as a person I care about and a person that I'm excited to share something with that's changed my life. And it might not have changed your life already as a coach, but that's why it's so important for you to do these 5 things, because you'll start to change as a person just by doing those 5 things. You'll start to see the change in yourself and you'll want to share it with other people. It doesn't matter if you haven't made money with it yet. You'll make money with it by first taking the steps yourself, but you can't tell somebody to do something that you're not willing to do. And so you all were on this call for a reason. And it's because I know you felt the shift in yourself, but just as easy as it was to fall back into your old ways, you can do all these things starting tomorrow. You can wake up tomorrow and you can decide that you're not going to do that crap anymore. You're not going to convince yourself that this doesn't work or that you can't do it or use these excuses that everybody seems to be using. It's not the case. But remember, energy flows where attention goes. If you're focusing on, it's not really even worth it to do it right now because nobody really wants to commit, and I don't know, I'll just wait till January to get started because nothing's really going on right now, and nobody would want to get a challenge pack anyway. Guess what? You're right. But I'm pretty sure when Katie had 890 PV in sales, it wasn't by fluke. There are people still buying stuff. I still have people buying stuff from me. There are people out there that still want to get in shape right now. Yes, the majority do not. But that does not mean that nobody does. There are people out there that want to change their life right now. They're ready. All they need to do is hear from you. But you have to get out of that funk and stop convincing yourself that these things don't exist, because they do. The people are waiting for you. That right coach, it doesn't take 20 coaches to be amazing or to start making money. It takes one coach like Scotty, one coach like Melanie, one coach like Katie, one coach like Abby, one coach like Shay. It takes one of them to change your business. You just got to find that one person. And all of you guys have the same amount of potential. You have your target audience. You have the things that you have to do. We're all going to be doing this program. All the top coaches in this team, I can guarantee you right now, they will get off this call and they will dedicate themselves to these action steps. They'll go ahead and they're probably already signed up for the Chalene Johnson 30-day challenge, and they already have their book picked out. Mine is The Millionaire Messenger by Brendon Burchard. It's all about creating your brand and becoming something and packaging something that people want to buy. Because my long-term goal is not just Beachbody. My long-term goal is to be my own brand. And whatever I decide to do, that people would follow because they trust in who I am and what I believe in, and I've proven myself to be somebody that they would follow. And so that is the book that I choose. You have to choose whatever book is right for you and whatever book you feel is calling you. If you need some more suggestions, just let us know what your downfall is and what you need to work on, and we'll help you. Open the blinds and let the sun shine back into your life, because we want to be ready to rock from the new year. And sales will start flowing in right after Christmas, the way that they always have. The first quarter is the biggest quarter of the year. It doubled my business last year. Doubled. Hold on a second, read this. Jackie, yes, you can have them as customers. They can get shipments there as long as they're not for resale, so they just can't become coaches. Another thing, as I wanted to mention, was I got a free copy of the Chalene Johnson Push book at chalenejohnson.com/push, and all I had to do was pay for shipping. I think shipping was like $6.95, but you get a free hardcover book. And it doesn't get shipped right away, but it comes out, I think, at the middle or end of December. So definitely something that you guys can do. Brendon Burchard, who is the book that I'm going to read, he's actually a mentor of Chalene's, who is teaching her all these little marketing gimmicks. And what they do is, December 20th, my birthday, yay. They actually do that so that they get on New York Times bestsellers list, and it sells them more books by them giving away those free. It shows as them being a New York Times bestseller. I don't know why I can't say that. So anyway, take advantage of that and get a free book. It's $6.95, definitely worth it. And she is full of knowledge and obviously is experienced with this business, and you're supporting somebody that's a part of our Beachbody family, which is definitely not a bad thing. But that's all I have for you guys. It's like 45 minutes right now. Perfect. So I appreciate you guys' time. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to stay on for a couple minutes. Yes. Supposedly, I heard in a site that I'm on that Tony Horton is going to surprise one of the coaches, whoever wins the Tony Horton delivering their P90X2 this weekend. And so right after that, all of the shipments for P90X2 will be shipped. So I'm guessing they will be charged next Monday. And then it'll be shipped. And it should be to them by like the second week of December. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything you want to ask? Becky. Thank you guys.